Super Radio Brothers!
It's time for the Super Radio Brothers. I think the one just had an accident.
Yes, broadcasting from strategic locations all across the empire, it is the Super Radio Brothers. We have returned. Trent, what's going on tonight, man?
What is going on? It is Thirsty Thursday. I like that. It's a fantastic night to be alive. I mean, every night's a fantastic night to be alive, just as long as you're alive, you know?
Thirsty Thursday? Wait, don't just walk over that one. That's a serious statement there, Trent. Thirsty Thursday. Are you thirsty?
I mean, I've been drinking water all night, but yes, absolutely.
Oh.
You know, I mean, I like to drink water on a Thursday night. I might have a soda every now and then. You know me, I'm not into the not into the alcohol, but I do like some water, some Coca-Cola, some Pepsi. You know, anything. It just depends.
There's nothing better than good old-fashioned H2O.
I know. That's what I'm drinking right now to get me through this program.
That is a great choice, Trent. A great choice on a Thirsty Thursday.
That's fantastic. Well, anyway.
And it's a big Thursday night. We're hanging out here, Super Radio Brothers, watching the Yankees and the Rays and the NBA Finals and speaking with you. We got news coming up. What else is going on here tonight, Trent?
We got news coming up. We have to honor the fathers because the Father's Day is coming up this week.
I totally remembered that. I was all over it, Trent.
I'm sure you did. Have you done your Father's Day shopping yet, sir?
Hold on. I got to make a note to myself. Where's my cell phone here? Reminder. No, I did it, Trent. Of course I did. I'm such a good son. I'm such a good son.
Good, because you don't want your father waking up on Sunday morning and saying, you know, he's in, you know, it's in the back of his mind.
Trent, that ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Anthony Rizzo with a walk-off home run, and the New York Yankees sweep the Tampa Bay Rays. What a majestic shot into the night. The Yankees, a historic start continues with an exciting 2-1 victory over the Rays here in the Bronx tonight. Trent, I'm sorry. I had to do it. That was a beautiful shot from Anthony Rizzo to, in essence, bury the Rays in the division right now. My goodness. Not to mention the Blue Jays got just destroyed today by Baltimore. What's going on with them? Double-digit leads all around. I think it's 10 on the Blue Jays, 13 on the Rays. I'm losing count now, Trent.
Should be 12 on the Rays. I think it's 12 on the Rays, and isn't it 10 on the Blue Jays? Something like that?
Yeah, that's what it's looking
12,
like.
13, at this point, it doesn't make a difference. But I mean,
so, anyway, we'll have more on the sports. Exciting victory for the Yankees tonight. I'll be all over that, of course. And we're watching the NBA Finals with you. And anything else going on here this week, Trent, that you want to mention before we get to the news?
Well, let's see. Do I want to save it for my couch? I'll save my. I'm going to pay homage to my late father for Father's Day. You know, this will be the first year without my father. Be the first Father's Day without him here on Earth. But you know what? I know that he is watching me from above, and I know that he appreciates everything that I've been doing. He is actually listening to this show right now. I guarantee you. He is listening to us right now and just laughing and joking and having a good time. You know, he may shake his head whenever you make Yankee comments because he wasn't a Yankee fan. But, you know, everybody does that. No, in all seriousness, I want to begin the show with, paying tribute to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day in heaven. To my father, and then of course to all my grandparents as well. My grandfather TJ, Dean, and my uncle Andy, and so many other the men in my life. I want to wish them a happy Father's Day. And Rich, you need to be wished a happy Father's Day as well, because fathers of pets count. By the way.
Thanks, Trent. I appreciate that. I said I was supposed to be the good son, and you're making me look like a bad son. I didn't come prepared with anything good to say about fathers. I feel awful. I have failed.
No, I'm sure you can find something along the way.
Thank you, dads, for dad jokes and, always being there. I don't know what to say. Somebody help me. Thank you.
Oh, man. I hear you. But, it happens that way sometimes. But hey, anyway. But again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, for sure.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, 100%, Trent. I'm with you on that. And I'm also with the news. We have the news here from this Hell We Call Earth news, Trent. And man, oh man, a lot of politics going on. But this is the politics I'm talking about. Why do we leave this stuff out? There's war and famine and so many horrible things going on in the world. But this is the politics we should be talking about, Trent. Are you aware that the bodyguards of Russian President Vladimir Putin collect his fecal matter?
No, I am not aware of that.
It's true. They collect his fecal matter as if they're Magic the Gathering cards or something. No, I'm just kidding.
That's freaky, man. That's wild.
And they trade it and everything. No, yeah, but they're collecting his fecal matter and urine to dispose of it in case it's somehow his poop winds up in the wrong hands and people can find out what his health conditions are if they're poor. Which I'm assuming they are now, since we're worried about people finding the poop.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would think so. Finding the feces, that's awful.
Trent, that's the reason they give. Like, they don't want the enemy or his poop and his urine to fall into the wrong hands. I think because they can find out if he's sick or something. But I think there are other possible explanations here. One would be that they actually believe his urine and poop has magical powers.
Really?
And they're creating a super weapon made of Putin's excrement. It's possible.
Wow.
Yeah. Think about that. It's just, it's possible. All right. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I
don't know what to say about that.
I guess anything is,
it's just a theory, Trent. You don't have to kill it. You don't have to.
I'm not killing it. I'm just sitting here in stupefied disbelief, because I've never heard anything like that. But
you gotta sometimes. It's something that should be considered magical poop. It could be a weapon. I'm just saying. Think about it.
Yep.
There are just so many different reasons why they could be collecting his urine and his poop. Aside from the fact, I think that you might find out he's sick or something. Could be used as a weapon. What can I tell you?
No. What can I tell you? I don't know.
But why aren't we talking about that? I'm just saying I'm not hearing that anywhere except for on Super Radio Brothers.
I know it's not in the national news. I have not seen anything about it on Fox News Tonight or CBS or CNN, whatever.
Vladimir Putin's walking around and dudes are collecting his poop. That's kind of weird. I'm just saying that's not normal.
Well, that's what we're meant for. We're meant for the wacky and the weird. And, nobody likes, not many people like to report on the wacky and the weird. But, it happens. It really is.
I guess I just feel like this should be reported on CNN or something. This is.
It really should. Absolutely.
This is top news here that you get on the Super Radio Brothers. So you're welcome. How about this one, Trent? Mortified dad left to clean very big poo in a B&Q after his 4-year-old son uses the display toilet. So I guess he went there with his family, and his son had to go, and surrounded by toilets in the toilet section, and just poops in one of the toilets. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is. That's,
Did you ever poop in a department store toilet, in the display aisle?
I mean, not in the display aisle, but I mean, I've had to, I've had to go to the restroom in the department store, but I don't go into the display aisle. I go in the actual bathroom.
Oh, how did that work out?
I mean, it came out okay, I think.
Oh, all right. You don't remember any details, but no, it's crazy because I think about it, and I've never done something like that, but to me, it kind of reminds me of were you ever around a fountain or it started raining or you hear water dripping and then all of a sudden you have to pee?
Yes, I have heard. Yes, absolutely.
I think what this kid experienced was something similar to that, where he saw all these toilets And he said, my goodness, I have to poop now. And what a perfect opportunity, because I'm surrounded by all of these wonderful, new looking, sparkling toilets. Let me bless this toilet, with its inaugural poop. Can you still sell that toilet, you think? Are they able to still, hey, we cleaned it. Is that on the clearance rack? Ask question, why is this toilet so much cheaper than the other ones? But hey, you go for it. It's clearance.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. I would.
I mean, if that toilet was $40 less than the original price, Trent, would you buy it knowing that? Someone pooped in it?
Yeah, you get a discount on the toilet. That sounds good.
I mean, you always. Bottom line is you're always pooping on toilets that somebody else pooped on. It's just the nature of life.
If I'm in the house, and we have, let's say you're in a house that has 2 bathrooms, every occupant in the house is going to use both bathrooms at some point. So you're already using a toilet that, has been occupied and, I pray has been cleaned properly. That's what I'd be concerned about.
Yeah, I mean, he must have been mortified as a dad to just see his son's huge number 2, where it shouldn't be that. And I've had similar experiences, Trent, as a father, as you so eloquently put earlier in the show. I am a doggy dad, and there were a couple of incidents. I remember one in a Petco. Petco, of course, is a friendly pet establishment, Trent. And I took the Freya.
Hence the term Petco.
Right. Yeah, it would be weird if it was called Petco and they didn't let animals in. It would be a little weird.
Yeah.
But we brought Freya to Petco, and what happened? What happened when we brought Freya to Petco? She peed all, an ocean. It wasn't even a normal pee. This was like an ocean of yellow dog urine in the middle of aisle 3 at Petco. But we had that experience. I remember one time I was with Freya in Home Depot, just walking through the garden section, and she starts getting into the poop position. And you see that thing start to, and I, no, Freya! And we sprint toward the exit. It was one of the funniest things you ever seen. And you know what? But she was smart enough. She sprinted with me, and as soon as she got outside, just started letting it go. It was happening. Man. But, as a father, now that was a dog. This guy has a human child, so I don't know what to say about that. It's a little different, but hey,
man.
What can I say?
Human child. Well.
Yeah, human child. Ugh. Trent's more into the non-human children,
No, yeah.
He said human child. Blah.
Human child. Ugh. Just thinking about it, going, number 2, and oh man, everybody does it, but like I don't want to see it. I really don't want to be a part of it.
Well, if you're there, you're going to smell it, which is probably worse.
Believe it or not, I will have to give you a little bit of tidbit of information. I do not smell. I don't have a sense of smell, believe it or not.
What?
No, I never have.
Wow.
So
well, that's a benefit in that situation. Then you can't smell poop.
Yeah, and it's also a benefit, whenever I'm near you, you have body odor.
Well, that's true. Now I know I'm not going to try so hard around you, at least,
Yeah, you said that you weren't going to be available because you were washing your hair. Well, I can't smell your hair, so if you have, if you stink around me, I pray for the other people around you.
Yeah, other people can, Trent. It's not all about you, Trent. Other people can smell it.
I know, but I'm saying if you and I were just kind of hanging out, outside doing our thing, kind of hanging out, watching sports, whatever, and I happen to, I wouldn't get a whiff of your bad BO if you, had it or something, and it's just it's crazy. But speaking of BO, like I always hated it when other people would tell me they were in public, or if they were in a meeting with somebody, or if they were in class with somebody that they had. My granddad always has stories all the time. He's like, yeah, man, this kid had bad BO whenever I had him in class and everything. And I was like, okay, why are you telling me this? And he said, well, it's a lesson to not have BO. And I said, okay, I'll do the best I can.
I don't even want to know. It's like I don't want to know about the bad BO, Dad. Why are you telling me
this? Like Granddad, I appreciate you, but why are you telling me about this? I don't want to know. I really don't care.
Well, speaking of dads and grand, one more thing here, Trent. You brought up Father's Day and Father's Day weekend. I have the best dad jokes of all time. That's a good bet. It seems like a lot of them always center around pulling the finger and the smelly farts and that nature, right? Those are a lot of.
Oh yeah.
Here are some corny ones. How about this one? I'll just go through a couple real quick. What do you call a pudgy psychic? A fortune teller. Ha! Think of that one. Laugh. That didn't get you? That didn't tickle your funny, Trent?
That's so funny.
All right, that almost was convincing, Trent.
Yeah, that was funny. I mean, it's a fortune teller. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty good, huh?
All right, what else you got?
Let's see. What dad jokes? How about this one? What do you call a naughty lamb dressed up like a skeleton for Halloween?
What's that?
Bad to the bone.
Oh my God.
That was his reaction. He was insulted by that one. He was like, "It is so bad. How could you?"
Yeah, that's so bad. So and the reason I laugh at these is because some of them are so stupid. They're just funny at the same time. I mean, they really are.
Well, Trent, my boss told me to have a good day, so I went home. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's classic right there.
Yeah.
If my boss told me that, hey, okay, have a good day. All right, I'm leaving the office. Bye. Have a great day. I'm out of here. See ya.
Hey, this is a good one, Trent. Can you get this one? This is almost like a riddle, but it's a joke. What kind of car does a sheep like to drive?
Oh, boy.
You're a car guy. What kind of a car does a sheep like to drive?
A bad Mustang?
A bad Mustang?
Yeah.
That is maybe the best guess of all time, but no, not a bad Mustang. That's a good one. Obviously, Trent, a sheep likes to drive a Lamborghini.
Oh, that's funny. So it could be a bad Lamborghini.
That's true. Yeah, you can get that in there. All right, what you got?
Okay, well, yeah. Speaking of, we moved from cars to trucks because a trucker was so terrified by a ghostly stowaway spotted clinging to his vehicle whenever he was driving through Argentina.
A ghostly stowaway?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. He was spotted clinging to his vehicle driving through Argentina, who later vanished into thin air. He drove another 80 miles to skip town. And the driver was at the head of a convoy passing through Argentina's Cordoba. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing that name because my screen reading software mispronounced it, so I had to. Sorry.
You're calling me a diva, Trent? All I heard was, Rich, you're a diva. And I was kind of like, what?
Yeah.
Of course I am. I thought you knew that.
Passing through a province in Argentina when he saw the woman standing at the side of the road. As he checked his mirrors, the apparition had disappeared. Concerned, he called back to his other drivers and was alarmed when he was told she was holding on to the back of his rig. Moments later, the mysterious vision disappeared. The convoy were so spooked they decided to skip their plans to sleep overnight in a nearby hotel. The sandals were they were standing all. I'm sorry, I was reading an ad. My bad.
I had my phone ready. It was a convincing ad. I'm just saying.
No,
buy something.
Instead, they put their foot down and drove on for another 100 kilometers before finally stopping, according to local media. So the ghost woman was seen at the side of the road by the driver, and there's a picture of him here. And Let's see.
So,
She clung on for a number of miles before finally vanishing, and she was never seen again. Can you believe that?
of course, it was a ghost. She was obviously haunting these guys on a truck for some reason. I don't know why. But, hey, what do you question this, Trent? Or what is it about this story that really that you felt like I had to do this story? What fascinated you about it? You don't believe in ghosts?
I mean,
you don't buy it?
Yeah, it made me think of the time where I was at the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. People always talk about how that place is haunted. I mean, it really is.
Was
a lot of times. Yeah, I can believe that.
Give me a ghost. What was your ghost sighting? A paranormal experience? What do you got?
So I was using one of those Braille writers. You know how I mean, you should probably know this, but those typewriters that they had back in the 70s.
Damn, what is he just trying to say? I'm old. Did you hear this guy? He said you should probably know this.
You should probably know this.
You know the keyboards for computers? They used to be hooked up to ink, bro. It wasn't always a screen. It was weird.
Yeah,
I know you know about that shit. Next thing, Rich, before there were lights, people would have a wick and some wax. They called them candles. I know you know about candles, but a lot of people don't actually know about candles and stuff like that. Rich, before people used to use phones and stuff like that, people would you know about this, but people would communicate with smoke. They'd light a fire and the smoke would go and that's how they would communicate with each other. But you knew about that already, didn't you, Rich?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you knew about that. You could predict the future.
Not insulting at all, Trent.
I know. But that's what I'm here for. I have to get at least one dig in per show. A lot of time. I think I'm on a roll, though. I've already gotten like 2 or 3. So
yeah, I do know about that, though, Trent. You're right.
We're rocking and rolling. It makes the show. People have told me that, I love your digs at Rich. Well, thank you. I take that as a compliment. But anyway, they call them the Perkins Brailler. So it's basically like a typewriter that you had to like push the keys down as hard as you possibly could, and there were different key combinations because I read Braille because obviously I can't see, but so I read Braille, and there was one time where I was in the middle of typing and all of a sudden the keys wouldn't push down properly. So like it was just all of a sudden it just like stopped, and I looked and I was like, somebody's got to be playing a trick on me. Somebody's got to be sticking their hand, where the keys, like on the area where, the keys are kind of pushed down and kind of stopping them, kind of playing interference just to mess with me or something. No, there was nobody there. I felt it several times. Unless they absolutely snatched their hand away, I could not tell that there was a person standing there. And I'm like, people have told me that this place is haunted, and yeah, apparently it is.
And you felt it. Was this something that happened early in the day or nighttime?
Yeah, it was early. I was doing homework, so it was weird. It was a weird time. It's like 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
And would you say that how old do you think that equipment is that they use there, that type of typewriter?
It had to have been, at that time, about 10, 15 years old.
Okay, all right. Because sometimes, Trent, the older things they may hold residual psychic energies from the users that predated you. And perhaps not an apparition, but you experienced a time lapse. 2 times existing in one place and one time. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Damn, that movie was great. I'm going to talk about it later, but I think that's what you experienced, Trent.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear you talk about it, for sure.
It makes total sense if you saw the movie, I'm telling you.
Yep.
Anyway, That's cool, man. That's cool. So you ain't afraid of no ghosts. That's what I take from that.
Nah, I'm not afraid of no ghosts.
You're not afraid of no. That's cool. You're afraid of being abducted by aliens, I think. When you
definitely.
Who's not afraid of that? Haven't you heard about the anal probes? Nobody wants to deal with that. I don't want to deal with anal probes. Come on, man. Imagine you imagine, because that's what these people say, through regression therapy, I think they call it, hypnosis. And you go back to the moment your mind was wiped, the memory, but then you remember the anal probe. Oh, the horror. Nobody wants that.
The horror. Yep.
Nobody wants anything like that. So, Trent, you ever get on an elevator and smell urine?
Well, I don't smell, like I said, but I mean,
that
see,
whole bit doesn't work now.
No, but I can tell when there is a feel. I can tell when the air is dirty. And yes, I've been on the elevator. I've been on a elevator. I don't like elevators too much. I mean, I can do them, but so some of them, I hate when the elevators are so crowded that you can't even feel yourself breathe hardly. I mean, it's just like so. I mean, you get people in there. You get people that's when you wouldn't want to be riding on the elevator with somebody who had bad BO, because if you did, it's just awful.
Well, one of the issues you run into living in a big city, like I remember in New York, sometime you get on an elevator and it smells like piss. And you're like, oh, shit, that sucks. Somebody peed in here. Or you go down into the subway and you smell pee. It's terrible. Well, guess what, Trent? They're trying to solve that problem in Boston.
Why in Boston?
Because it's shit town. We talked about it earlier.
That's right.
Oh, we didn't talk about that on the air. Nobody's supposed to know that's how I feel. Never mind. Total different conversation. No, he's Beantown, Shittown. The MBTA, which services Boston and the surrounding area, is launching a pilot program this summer in which urine detection sensors will be placed in 4 downtown elevators. The sensors alert transit ambassadors who can dispatch a cleaning crew, the Boston Herald reported. The sensors on the ceiling of an elevator have an attached fan which allows them to suck in air, just like your nose, and basically smell what is present. And if pee is present, they're going to know about it and, I guess assume dispatch a cleaning crew or something, because what else can you do?
Yeah.
I mean, what other action can be taken there, Trent?
I don't know of any. It's just, I don't know of any other action that can be taken.
Yeah, that's kind of how I weird. Felt. Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
We'll see. But anyway.
Anything else from you, Trent? Any other stories?
I do. I got one more here.
Right.
My it says a woman was left feeling baffled by her fiance after he asked to take credit for buying their house in their wedding speech, even though that she contributed most of the money for it. Can you believe this?
What a horrible story.
Yeah, she's not happy about it. And then there's like a photo of them. Like my phone just read it. It's kind of like said, angry couple.
Angry couple. But Trent, wait a second. So he took credit completely for buying the house, and she's like, hold on a second.
Absolutely. He took complete credit for it when in reality she contributed. It didn't say if she contributed 50-50. I haven't read I read the story a couple times. I don't remember it saying that it was a 50-50 deal or, 75-25. I don't know what the ratio of contribution was, but it didn't sound...
I wonder if it sounds like something, Trent, that if you're there, maybe it could be misconstrued. He's giving a speech or he's talking to a bunch of people and he's like, I bought a house and we're married and blah, blah, blah. And he didn't necessarily mean I did. He meant we, but instead he said I, and then she heard it and got pissed off about it. But
kind of like what you do, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I always misspeak. It's basically my language to say things I don't mean. Don't you know?
I know.
No, but
I can tell you said it to my face too.
Oh yeah.
And you made me lose eons and eons of sleep.
Yeah. I'm sorry about it, but sometimes I just I've been told, Trent, I have diarrhea of the mouth, and sometimes you can't control what comes out of there. Okay.
I know. I'd buy it. But
it's like I've been there.
I've been there, yeah. I understand.
Okay.
But anyway, during a groom's speech, the guests are often left in barrels of laughter, with the bride shedding a few tears, as she expresses his love for her and what have you. However, for this particular speech, a man left his wife to be confused and upset. His worst nightmare, asking him if he could claim single-handedly that he bought their house.
So was it over right there? He's Can you? Yeah, because that's what I'm asking. I'm like, well, does he go in there and he's like, well, I bought a house and now I'm married. I'm so happy. Or did he, specifically, like you say, go in front of everybody and say, I single-handedly, all by myself, with my money and only my, was he that specific?
No, it's she here, I'm about to read what she wrote down here. So
Okay.
It says she wrote, my fiance 37 and 33, the man's 37 and the female is 33 years of age, so they're relatively young people. Got engaged a few months ago. We're getting married soon and invitations were already sent out. Well, come on, ads, quit coming up. We've also been busy moving into a new home that we purchased together. 30% of his savings plus 70% of mine. So basically what it's saying is he contributed 30%, but she contributed 70%.
Wow.
So basically she got the raw end of the deal to begin with. I have to say that saving up for this house took most of my savings and prevented most of me from enjoying most of the things that I spent my money on. So and then she went on to drop a bombshell in her what is Reddit? Like, do you ever use Reddit, Rich? It's like social media.
A social media thing, social media platform.
My fiance sat me down yesterday.
You just made me look young, Trent, before you were calling me old. And here's well, Sonny boy, Rich, what is this Reddit thing these kids are talking about these days? It's like Trent's the 60-year-old on the show. I've never heard of this Reddit. I only have a MySpace account.
No, I've never had a MySpace. It seems like Facebook is becoming more and more obsolete. A lot of people are using the TikToks and the Twitter.
I use TikTok. I'm quite the mover, Trent. I'm a big time dancer.
How many TikTok followers do you have? Just yourself?
I haven't checked recently, but I mean that thing is good, dude. You got to see my moves. It's people are noticing, I think. Or they're just laughing, but it's still, I appreciate the support.
Oh yeah, so that's good. And then she said that she didn't feel comfortable with the idea because she thinks that it's unfair to acknowledge that I'd sacrificed so much of my funds to buy this house. And
that poor woman, did she forgive him?
Yeah. He got mad at me and said that she was really overthinking it and made a big deal out of it. So apparently, they got into an argument and he started yelling, saying it's just one favor he's asking her to do, and yet she's making it ridiculous small request. Oh. So basically, it's racked up 1,400 comments on Reddit, that post that she made, with users concerned about her partner's behavior. So it doesn't say if the marriage is off. Doesn't sound like it was on when it started. But
it doesn't sound like a very good relationship to me.
It doesn't.
It's not meant to be.
That's what I got. Anyway, so that's a couple of interesting stories there from yours truly about about all the marriages and what have you.
Yeah, all of these marriages. And my goodness, people got to get pull themselves together. That's
I know, especially
ridiculous.
This couple. My word.
I love this headline, Trent. How about never play video games on the toilet again? Snake bites Malaysian man on the butt. As he plays a video game.
A literal biting of the butt.
On the butt as he plays a video game during toilet time. Is that what you call it? I usually just say, that's the headline. I usually just say, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going to take a shit. I never say, it's toilet time.
Yeah, I whenever I go to the bathroom, I always say, I'm going to take a Rich.
That was a dad joke, Trent. Come on, man.
I know. That was so bad. That was a dad joke. You're right about that. I had to get one in there.
Yeah, I'm taking a Rich. Sometimes, but I never. That's fine. But I never say it's toilet time.
No, I never say that either.
Even taking a Rich, is better than toilet time, because I've never heard that, But a 28-year-old's unwavering habit of playing mobile games while using the toilet was interrupted when a snake bit him on the buttocks. This Malaysian man had been sitting on the toilet playing games on his phone when the snake struck him. Now, here's my favorite part of the story, Trent.
Uh-huh.
He found out 2 weeks later that the reptile had left behind teeth fragments in his buttocks after he yanked the snake away during the encounter in his house. So basically, this dude pulled the snake off his ass, and it took him 2 weeks to realize there's some snake teeth in my butt. How does that take 2 weeks to figure out, to realize?
I don't know. I mean, you would suspect that you'd be able to feel it down there.
I mean, dude, if a snake, if I was playing video games on the toilet, I'll tell you right now, and a snake went up and bit my butt, I would have ultra examined my butt. I mean, that examination would have been in depth, okay, to ensure everything was okay. And I spend a lot of time sitting on my butt. So I find it hard to believe that it would take 2 weeks to realize there are some teeth stuck in my butt cheeks. No way that would take 2 weeks.
Dude, it just sounds like it hurts so bad. It really does. It sounds like it's, yeah. But my thing is, like, I'm still befuddled because I don't know how you can. I mean, like you would feel that pain. I can barely even feel. Like, for example, like if I looked at a sculpture of like an animal with like sharp teeth, I can barely even feel the sculpture just because the teeth are so sharp on that. It's tough to deal with. It really is.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't know how that's possible. But anyway, apparently that's a true story out of Malaysia. And finally, Trent, for the news here today, are you a fan of Post Malone?
Oh yeah, I like that song. I like that song One Right Now. Let's see, there's one. So many other great ones. His latest one is called One Right Now. With the with the Weeknd.
Oh yeah, he's got that. Yep. That one's out there. That's pretty cool. And Circle, right? Circles. That's another big.
Oh yeah,
Post Malone song. Yep. He's got a bunch of hits out there. But he was on the Howard Stern show this past week. And he had an interesting fact for Howard, and it was a pretty good interview. He was, one of those. He actually, you ever heard the Pearl Jam song "Better Man," Trent?
Yeah.
He covered "Better Man," which was pretty awesome, and he did a new song. He did a song off of his new album, which was really good too. So worth checking out. But in the interview with Howard Stern, he reveals. How about this, Trent? This is incredible. Post Malone says he writes 60% of his lyrics on the toilet.
Really?
And he goes on to say, I'd say about 30% of all of my albums have been written on the shitter. So 30% of the albums and 60% of his lyrics written while taking a shit.
That's
now
crazy.
I know why. I did not become a big time artist, a musician. I don't write while I'm on the toilet. My stuff would have been way better if that's how I was spending that time. Now Howard did tell him he's a young man. When he gets older, he's going to have a serious hemorrhoid problem. So it's something he has to think about going forward. But hey, to this point, regardless of the hemorrhoids, all the number one hits and millions upon millions of dollars, I think would be worth a couple of hemorrhoids.
Oh yeah, without question. I mean, sometimes you have to weigh everything out. I mean, would you rather have a pain for a couple of days, or would you rather have millions and millions of dollars? I mean, if you had millions and millions of dollars, I'm sure there's an infinite number of things that you would want to do, right?
Oh, of course. And there's no doubt. You spend that much time on the toilet, you might get snake teeth in your butt cheeks. You know, it's
yeah.
there are just so many dangers associated with spending that much time on the toilet. So, anyway, that, as they say.
Super Radio Rundown.
From this hell we call Earth, the news, and now, yes, the Super Radio Rundown. Trent, are you ready for some rundown action?
Absolutely. I'm always ready. That's one of my highlights of the show.
Oh, yeah. We got some rundown stuff here, some interesting factoids in the entertainment industry. By the way, before I get deep into this rundown here, should mention that we are early in the third quarter with the Golden State Warriors. They have a 16-point lead, looking for their to give Steph Curry his fourth NBA championship and his very first NBA Finals MVP, because if they win here tonight...
Golden State Warriors winning their fourth championship in 8 years, right?
Yep, there you go. And Steph Curry, I mean, there's no doubt I think he'll get the MVP if they win tonight. That'll be the first time he accomplishes that in his illustrious career. So here we go. Couple of things to mention Netflix-wise. Spiderhead. It's a new show, Trent, starring Miles Teller, Top Gun Maverick fame, and also Liam Hemsworth is in there. So, and it's a story pretty interesting. A prisoner in a state-of-the-art penitentiary begins to question the purpose of the emotion-controlling drugs he's testing for, because guess what? There's a pharmaceutical genius behind the whole thing, and a big mystery. So it looks interesting. Some interesting stars in that show coming out on Netflix June 17th. Also, one that I'm very much looking forward to, and we had the trailer on Super Radio Brothers social media. It's a new Netflix documentary. It's called The Future Of, and it takes a look into the future. This looks really cool. Yeah,
I did not know that. What a name! What a concept!
What a concept, right? But check it out. This is really cool. It says this documentary explores this docuseries, I should say, explores some of the big changes that might be awaiting in the years ahead for the human race, from dogs and dating to space vacations and life after death. Each episode of the series, dubbed The Future Of, will take one particular subject and examine how modern technology may bring about major changes moving forward. That looks extremely fascinating. Looks like an interesting show. That gets started on Netflix on June 21st. So you should make plans to check that one out, Trent.
Yeah, I'll check that out. June 21st. That's what, on Tuesday. That is a 2 for Tuesday.
Whoa.
June 21st.
2 for Tuesday. What else is going on? That's 1. What's 2?
I don't know. The Rays and the Yankees game 2 from Tropicana Field. Although I don't know if I want to watch it at this point.
Well, at least they're back in the Trop there. Oh, boy.
Yeah, back in the John Sterling and Susan Waldman call it the dump in Tampa, Tropicana Field.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to sports in a little bit here. We got a lot to talk about there. Spider-Man movies, all of the Spider-Man movies coming to Disney Plus. A lot of people have been waiting for that for a while, because they got Disney Plus in the first place to get all the Marvel stuff. But as you know, Spider-Man not outright owned by Disney, basically owned by Sony. Sony shares the rights for the movies. Everybody's making money, so that's why they're doing that. But I guess Sony cooperating here as well, because their Spider-Man movies starring Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are making their way to Disney Plus, as well as the Tom Holland movies, which feel like they're Disney. But again, Spider-Man is owned by Sony. Also, interesting note to bring up here on the rundown, Season 2 of Only Murders in the Building, coming up on Hulu June 28th. The first season was awesome with Steve Martin, Martin Short, and what's her name? Selena Gomez. Really cool show. Awesome show, actually. Just great to see Steve Martin and Martin Short doing their thing again. And it's really cool. There was, speaking of Howard Stern, he interviewed both of those guys about a year ago when the first season came out. And it was just cool to hear how that show came about. And again, just to see those guys doing it again. Steve Martin and Martin Short, two of the greats. Can't wait for season 2. That's going to be pretty awesome. Also, should bring up the box office numbers this past weekend, Trent. Jurassic World Dominion finally knocked Top Gun Maverick out of the top spot. I don't know if you know that. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. I about fainted because Top Gun Maverick has been in the top spot for the last month.
You almost lost consciousness when you saw that? That's wild.
I was like, what?
You're really locked into all this stuff, huh?
I mean, I have to be. So
that's true. It's kind of your job to be locked in.
It really is. Yeah.
You got to be locked into. If
I want to make money, I have to be locked in.
Are you into dinosaurs, Trent?
I mean,
from that reaction, really. I'd say that's a solid no.
That's a hard no.
Yeah.
How about you? Are you into dinosaurs?
Oh, I one of my favorite things ever when I was a kid was dinosaurs. I think my second grade.
Yeah, they were around whenever you were around. Yeah.
That you see, now that was a good one. You see the Trent with the old joke again. Yes, I was around when there were dinosaurs, Trent. That's a great point. That was my first dog was actually a dinosaur. So.
Oh my Lord.
A velociraptor. So it's very dangerous to have around children, but they're pretty smart animals. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I love dinosaurs, man. And even I'll never forget one of the big movie and from where I come from, Trent, my age, the big movies were Star Wars and Indiana Jones. It wasn't going to get better than that as far as franchise movies. Those were incredible flicks. But I think it was Jurassic Park. I'm not sure if it was 94 or it must have been 94. For some reason, I'm thinking 96. But I think it was 94. The first Jurassic Park came out, and I remember to this day, it came out on my birthday, and it was one of the greatest movies of all time. I love the original Jurassic Park. Jeff Goldblum, everybody that was in there, and of course the T-Rex. So one of my favorite movies ever. The sequel wasn't too great. I think Part 3 was better than what most people give it credit for. I really liked Part 3, but then these new Jurassic World movies, I haven't been a huge fan of them so far. I think they've taken the intelligence of the raptors too far, basically turning them into smarter dogs. Basically, they're so freaking. They're basically people. But I haven't loved the Jurassic Worlds, but this is going to be this is the third in the series. That was number 1 at the box office. Top Gun Maverick number 2. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness still up there to round up your top 3 movies at the box office. And just to stay there for a second, Top Gun Maverick topped 400 million domestic box office, passing Doctor Strange 2. So that's 401.8 million North American ticket sales, and a whole lot more worldwide, bringing its total worldwide to 783.8 million. So, holy cow, Top Gun Maverick is just destroying it at the box office, and it's destroying it for us on Super Radio Brother YouTube page, Trent. Just to give a shout out to everybody who checked out the video, my Top Gun Maverick movie review. Thank you so much for checking it out. We appreciate you. Over 300 views at this point, Trent, on the Top Gun Maverick Super Radio Brothers movie review. Thank you, everybody, for checking it out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else on the rundown that we should talk about? I don't think so, other than to say I really liked Top Gun Maverick. And, Trent, if you haven't seen the video yet, maybe you should check it out. What do you think?
I mean, I already checked it out, but I recommend it to those who did not check it out yet to go ahead and do so because you'll enjoy it.
I think I'm going to start, and if you do check it out, just know that this was the moment, since it's been such a popular video for us, that I think I'm going to start dressing like that for real every day for the rest of my life. So thank you for helping me make that life decision. Video game news. Video game. Yeah. Video games. Video game news. I like video game news, Trent. Do you like video game news?
I can tell.
Can you? I was trying to. I wasn't trying to show my emotion too much there. But this is a really cool story. This is cool video game news here. I thought this was awesome. You ever think about taking online video game classes? Well, I have. No, I haven't. Really, I haven't.
Are they like are they offering them at colleges and universities and stuff like that, or just in general, just general online video game classes?
They should. They have the wackiest classes in colleges and universities these days.
You know what? I saw. When the late John Madden was alive, he taught a football class as an elective. I would have taken that, like how to analyze football. I mean, I would have totally taken that. They would have had. They got so many electives. See, whenever I graduated, I'm a graduate. I'm more sophisticated now. But anyway, whenever I was in college, they had.
Do you eat caviar for lunch now every day? You're so sophisticated.
No, I do not.
Oh.
What did I have today? Today I had some stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut.
There you go. That sounds pretty good.
That's what I ate today. It was pretty good. Had some sausage on it and some cheese, and oh man, it was so good.
I made an idiot move last week, Trent. I ordered some Domino's, but I used the app and I ordered it without tomato sauce.
What? Tomato sauce, especially at Domino's, it makes the pizza, man.
It's like,
so
how could that happen, right? How could you make that mistake? And I guess there was an option on the app for Parmesan or something. I was like, oh, they're just going to glaze the crust or something with the Parmesan. Meanwhile, I get the pizza and it has no tomato sauce.
So what did you do?
We heated up some tomato sauce to dip it in.
Oh, so like, in other words, sort of like some marinara sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what we did, Trent. But yep, I did it again.
That's awesome.
I failed.
Yeah, that's.
Is that awesome. Really my fault? I feel so terrible about failing like that.
It happens sometimes. Especially whenever you're ordering things online.
Like, can you imagine, Chai? I know you're probably pumped up. You're like, oh, I'm gonna get some stuffed crust pizza. Yeah, you don't have pizza every day, so you're like, ooh, we're gonna eat pizza today. This is great. Can you imagine you got your stuffed crust pizza today and it had no tomato sauce?
I know. Yeah,
that would have been disappointing, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, it really. Oh, definitely. I mean, especially because I had it delivered to my house. I didn't feel like going out and getting it, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna have this delivered, and so I did. And
you know what I thought when I got, you know what I thought when I got the pizza with no tomato sauce? You know what the first thought in my head was?
What'd you think?
I was like, I should have never tipped the driver that brought this pizza to my house, because now he didn't deserve it.
Because first of all, you had no way of knowing that you didn't have any tomato sauce until the driver left, unless you opened the box of pizza and ate a slice during, while the driver was standing there, which, would be kind of weird.
I'm telling you right now, Trent, if I knew there was no tomato sauce, no tip. No tip.
Oh, yeah, without question. I understand. I wouldn't either. I mean, like the tomato sauce, I don't care what kind of pizza you eat. Tomato sauce makes it, man. That's the whole point.
It's the sauce. Thank you, Trent. 100% right. So, video game news, not pizza news, but we do like to. Hey, one of the best things to do is eat pizza and play video games. People have been doing it for thousands of years, Trent.
Oh, yeah, before you were even around.
Oh, yeah. Barely. But a Utah mom has been supporting her family through teaching video games to children around the world.
Hey, like I've said many times before, if you, there are many life lessons you can learn from actually playing video games, and there are certain situations that they emulate, like during the game, that you could. I mean, yeah, obviously it's more, it's exacerbated because you're playing within the game sometimes, but there are some real life situations that you can actually learn from, especially whenever you're playing those type of games. So I get it.
So this Utah mom, she grew up playing video games. She's turned her hobby into something much more, and she's making money while playing the same games she played growing up. According to this, she makes about $4,000 a month.
Whoa. Teaching
video games through the online platform OutSchool, where she also hosts gaming social clubs for kids over the internet. She got started teaching online language and writing classes. So she goes from language and writing classes to video games. Now she's using video games and characters to teach or enhance those writing and language classes.
Would you take one of her video game classes?
Well, I'm sort of a veteran myself, so I'm not sure how much I would learn. For instance, one of the games she teaches, and by the way, each class costing about $13 to $15 a class. It says she teaches around 30 video game classes a week. But just to give you an example of some of the games she teaches, Mario Kart, which I am a pretty darn good Mario Kart player. Animal Crossing I know nothing about. But of course,
you can learn about it.
Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe I'll take an Animal Crossing class. Pokemon, I don't know much about that either. And The Legend of Zelda, which in my life I think has to have gotten over 1,000 hours of play for sure. Because I've taken pride in the fact that every
what's the over under on that?
Well, I guess it might be hundreds because I don't know if enough games have come out. Because each game I average close to 100 hours. So
okay.
And I pride myself in the fact that I've played every single Legend of Zelda game to come out on console and beat it, all the way back to the original Nintendo. So hundreds at least for sure. And she's teaching that. I should be teaching a Legend of Zelda class, Trent. Anyway,
nothing says you can't.
But I think one of the things, to me, I can't teach a video game class, but this gave me an idea. I want to teach a class, Trent, on how to talk trash in video games online. I could.
I'm sure.
I'm sure
you'd
teach that
be a great
class
teacher.
because there are a lot of nuances in talking trash in some of these video games. Especially in the NBA. A lot of times, especially in the older days, if you hit a big shot, the other person will pause the game real quick to make you feel it and then unpause it. That's a form because that's a game where, all right, we're competing online. We're playing a ranked game, but we're not actually speaking with each other. Neither one of us has headphones on, or we're on a mic. But there are ways to communicate and talk trash, and that's one way where you would pause the game and then unpause it real quick to let them know, look at what I just did to you. So this is really. I think I can teach a class on talking trash during video games. You ever talk trash in anything, Trent?
Oh yeah, I talk trash. Usually it comes to bite me in the butt because I talk trash about my sports teams. I can't really be doing that right now, but it's because it's not working out in my favor. But other than that, I talk trash about, hey, I can do this better than you, or I can, do this. So yeah, I talk occasionally. I don't like I'm apprehensive being a Florida sports fan talking trash because a lot of times it could bite me in my rear end.
Well, that's everything. But in the heat of the moment in some of these games, you talk trash. Like if I wipe someone out in the baseball game, I've sent people messages after the fact, like, you're not in my league, bro. You know what I mean? You just let them know I just smoked you. And I'll teach people that you pause real quick in the NBA game. And then there are sour grapes moves you can make that would really piss me off. Sometimes people, let's say it's a tie game, basketball, 47-47, because that's about where the scores get 6-minute quarters. 47-47, end of the fourth quarter. I just hit a three. Now the other guy just pauses the game, and he never unpauses. And I got to sit there for 3 minutes for his time to run out, and he gets disqualified to get my W. That's sour grapes. Like someone gets so pissed off that they lost, they can't just let the game go to the end. And not, you know what? Do me a favor, dude. All right, you don't want to play anymore? Just quit. So I got to sit there and wait 3 minutes for you to be disqualified because you paused it too long. So people do that. I've seen people say, "Oh, this game fell off. It's not as good as it used to be." And boom, that's why I suck. That's why I lose. No, it's not. You just stink, bro. So anyway, I can teach a class on talking trash online, Trent. What do you think?
I like it.
I think I'm good at it. I'm good at talking trash. I'm so good at it.
You're good at it a lot.
Well, thank you, Trent. I'm used to the insults from you, but that was a compliment, you know.
Yeah, but did you hear my sarcasm?
I'm trying to ignore the sarcasm and allow myself to bubble up with emotion. Okay, because Trent, you know, he likes me. He really, really likes me. I get excited, you know, when people like me, Trent.
Oh yeah, that's definite.
And I get excited for I wanted you to fill in the blank. I thought we were like,
I'm sorry,
simpatico. We were on the same page, you know.
I get excited for sports, don't you?
Oh, me too, Trent. Me too. Yeah. Do it. Super Radio Brother Sports. Yes. I'm excited.
I can tell.
Well, I'm a New York Yankee fan, Trent. We're having a historic start to our baseball season.
Can we stop with the historic start and saying you're just having a historical season?
It's kind of still a start, though. You know, when there is still over around 100 games left, I don't know, it still feels like a start.
Well, there are less than 100 games left because we're recording this on Thursday. So I think the Rays just played their 63rd game right now or something. Yeah, hold on. Let me do the math real quick. It's they're 35 and 28, so that would make 63 games. So there are less than 162 games remaining. Obviously, there are less than 100 games remaining. As a matter of fact, there are 99 games left. And the Rays have been buried in the division by the New York Yankees because the Yankees are now 12 games up on the Tampa Bay Rays after they just finished off a sweep of us, you know, the depleted, the injured Tampa Bay Rays, the walking injuries that we're dealing with. It's just, I don't know how to deal with it, but it seems like somebody's getting hurt every day. And you, as a Yankee fan, have noticed this. You know, you're concerned that sometimes you're like, oh well, you know, this player hurts, this player is injured, and everything. And every team deals with injuries in sports, but it seems like the Rays are getting. Seems like the bug's biting extra hard this year.
Well, and that was the story for the Yankees the last couple of years. The Yankees just haven't been able to keep all their guys on the field for a while now. That was a big part of the story last year and the year before that. One of the things I will say about the Rays, they just don't look the same, and part of that's the injuries, but they're also, I think, third or second in all of baseball in allowing unearned runs. And
that is so true. They've allowed 43 unearned runs as of right now, as of this Thursday night.
And I mean, you watch one of the things about watching this 3-game sweep in the Bronx, the Rays were sloppy in this series, dropping pop flies. And the thing about the Yankees right now, they took advantage of every single Rays miscue in this series. And, you know, the Rays have been the better team the last couple of years. And this year they just don't look like the same team. The Rays the past couple of years are a team that made all the plays, and really you had to play good baseball to beat them. And the Yankees really didn't play their best baseball in these 3 games. They made errors too, and they didn't hit as well as they've been hitting. The Rays pitched well, but they won these games because the Rays made key defensive errors in every game, and dropping pop flies in foul territory and fair territory, and just giving the Yankees extra outs. And that's not going to work out right now with a team that's 47-16. So that's one thing I noticed here that I would say, just watching this 3-game series, the Rays just don't look like the same team that they've been the past couple of years. So
yeah, really, and a lot of it is, you to your point regarding the errors on what was it, Tuesday night, the game 1 of this series, Corey Kluber was on the mound, and boy, he was pitching lights out. I mean,
great,
he was great. Came back to the Bronx, pitched extremely well. He's healthy right now. Knock on wood. For
that's
right now.
The thing about him. Who knows how long that's going to last? Yeah,
I know. You just don't know. But there was a play, I think it was in the 4th inning or so. There was just an easy pop fly, and just I think it was either Kevin Kiermaier or somebody just dropped it out of nowhere. It was just flat out dropped. And then next thing you know, Randy Arozarena from the outfield airmails a throw when a Yankee hitter hit a single, which allowed them to score an insurance run to give them a 2-0 lead.
IKF, Isaiah Kiner Falefa, gets the base hit. Arozarena airmails the throw home. Which if he would have unloaded a good throw on that play, he might have got Stanton out, because obviously exactly. Stanton's not the fastest runner, and you might have nailed him there with a good throw, but instead he airmails it and then heads up base running from Gleyber Torres 2-0, and that would be all the runs the Yankees score in that game. They win the game 2-1, and it was all a comedy of errors in that inning. And that's just that's not the way the Rays have played in recent years. They don't make mistakes like that, but they seem to be doing a lot of that this year, and they did a lot of that in the Bronx, and that's how you get swept right now up in New York. But
and the Yankees don't need any help winning games. They've been winning their game. They've been winning games of their own on their own pace and on their own with their own abilities. And the Rays just kind of they gave away this series. And I think my friend Dave Wills of Rays Radio said it best. He said the Rays helped the Yankees beat the Rays, and essentially that's what it was. Look. Just a general outlook on the Rays. They're dealing with so many injuries, and I understand that, but it's next man up. The key storylines for me are the defense and the offense. When the Rays were down 2-0 the other night to the Yankees and their starter that they had on the mound, and the Rays had chances against that late Yankee bullpen. They had the bases loaded. 3 out of the last 4 innings of that game, or not the bases loaded. They had multiple runners on base 3 out of the last 4 innings of that game. Did they score runs? No, they couldn't scratch across anything, and that was another shutout for the Yankees. And they had the same thing on Wednesday night, where the Yankees took a 4-1 lead. G-Man Choi came up, and that was a big pinch hit by him to cut the lead to 4-3, but they haven't been able to get over the hump offensively, and it seems like we're talking about that every year, but now we're talking about it more than ever. I mean, I think you and I could hit, Rich, in that Rays offense. I think you and I, if it came down to it, we could provide Tampa Bay.
Well, it's true. Just looking at that game, that was a 1-0 game, right?
That was.
And what happens is Kevin Kiermaier, he gets injured. And then Brett Phillips comes in, and he fills in at center field. And nice, easy pop fly to center field. But him and Margot, they get a little confused who's going to catch it. He drops a fly ball, which should have been an out. But the next thing you know, Kyle Higashioka hits a 3-run home run. It's 4-0. That's an example of you had an easy fly ball there. You drop it. And the Yankees, bottom of the order, Kyle Higashioka hits it out, 3 RBIs. You take a 4-0 lead. They're able to hold on 4-3 and win that game. But, the Rays just made plays like that over and over again and the Yankees just kept taking advantage of it. Another thing that was wild, and I do want to talk about in that Yankee-Rays game, in that 4-3 win in the set, was just how the umpires didn't know the rules in the eighth inning. And you had a 16-minute delay, which was just ridiculous. Oh, how do you, if you're the umpire, if you're Phil Cuzzy, how do you not know the rules in that spot? It was so ridiculous. It's
Phil Cuzzy's been around for years.
He's been around forever, and Aaron Boone knows the rule. It took the guys in the Yankee broadcast, Michael Kay, about 5 minutes to get the rule book and see what the rules were, and the umpires were wrong. Aaron Boone knew what the rules were. The umpires had no idea what was going on. They're standing there at the middle of the diamond for 16 minutes, have to go to New York to find out what the rules are. Finally, they let Boone change the pitcher, and you just knew at that point, it was just so much of an odd situation. You knew the Rays were going to get a couple hits there and get back in it. And speaking of next man up, this game starts the 2-1 win, the walk-off home run from Anthony Rizzo to complete the sweep. But Yankees were supposed to have Severino start this game, and correct. Severino. He had 10 strikeouts in his 2 previous starts, so he's been one of the hottest pitchers in baseball. And I bring it up because, next man up. That's what the Yankees have so much good pitching right now. Severino's just striking everybody out lately, been one of the hottest pitchers in baseball. He's out because of COVID protocol in this game, and that's a game last year if you're the Yankees. First of all, the Yankees swept nobody last year. They would never get a sweep. Second of all, you get your top pitcher missed well, it seems like everybody's their top pitcher these days, but Severino misses the game. You get a spot start from a reliever, Clark Schmidt, who was a first-round pick for the Yankees, but still hasn't been a starter, coming out of the bullpen, limited action. Goes out there and gives you 3 scoreless innings with 5 strikeouts. I mean, he stepped up. Yankees just picked this guy up, Ryan Weber. He comes in his first game as a Yankee, 3 2/3, 1 earned run. Did a fantastic job all the way to Michael King, the bullpen. You're talking about 9 innings worth of 8 2/3 worth of work, and holy cow, 6 innings of work, and holy cow, they were amazing. They gave up 1 run, so that's what the Yankees have been about this year. They beat you 18-4. They'll beat you 2-0. They'll beat you 2-1. It seems like regardless of what kind of game it is, they find a way to come out on top, especially if it's at home. The Yankees in June, Trent, have not lost a game in the Bronx. That win against the Rays was their 13th straight home win in the Bronx. That's the best streak they've had since 1973 in the old stadium. That's a long time ago. Yankees have only lost 46 of their first 62 games a couple of times. It happened in 39 and 53 and 1928. So what you're seeing right now is something incredibly special.
Yeah, it really is. And just as a fan of baseball in general, you have to appreciate what they're doing. And you look at coming up toward the end of the season, that's Subway Series, the Yankees and the Mets. If the Mets keep playing the way they are in the National League, that Yankees and Mets series could be very, very interesting, and it could be, one of the most fun series of the season. Normally, it's just it's the Subway Series. The media gets a lot out of it. I don't know whether Yankee fans are really all that into it. The Yankees and the Mets and all that kind of stuff. It's been dominated by mostly by the Yankees. But you look at it now, the Mets are actually in contention and they're playing well, and so are the Yankees. And if the Yankees and the Mets continue to play well when they play each other, that's going to be a fun series to watch just from a general fan's perspective.
Oh, you bring up an interesting point, Trent, because the Mets did win today, which is good for them. That puts them back up 4.5 games over the Atlanta Braves, who haven't lost in 2 weeks. They've won 14 straight games. You want to, as good as the Yankees have been, I mean, Yankees best team in baseball, but the hottest team in baseball the last couple of weeks. You're talking about the defending champion Atlanta Braves, 14 straight wins. They've gotten back into that division race in the National League East. The Mets still have the best record in the National League, but looking over their shoulder a little bit here as the Braves, and there's something to be said for that. You won 14 straight games, and you're still 4.5 games back, But when you consider that you were just 10 games back a couple of weeks ago, you've made some moves. So you got to keep an eye on what the Braves are doing right now too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Braves are a fantastic team, and then you look at the other end of the spectrum. The Angels are fading, and they're fading fast. They plummeted. Last week we talked about it. Joe Madden, former Tampa Bay Ray manager, has been fired from the Los Angeles Angels. They had a double-digit losing streak. The Braves have had a double-digit winning streak. We've seen it all in Major League Baseball this year.
Oh yeah, it's been a great season. Obviously, if you're a Yankee fan, been a great season. Another thing to bring up, Judge has 25 home runs through the first 60 games. The only other two Yankees to ever do that, Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle.
Oh yeah,
think about that.
Absolutely.
Just to show what kind of season Aaron Judge is having right now. I mean, the guy's unbelievable. You had McClanahan going in that second game of the series, and he's got the lowest ERA in all of the American League, and he's had a tremendous season. And Aaron Judge set the tone of that game by hitting a home run immediately off the Rays' best pitcher, and just you're feeling good about that game right away. So that's just a season that Aaron Judge has had so far. Really amazing.
Yeah, it really is, and hopefully he doesn't participate in the home run derby. I hope he does. Because
I don't think he will. I would be shocked. There's no way that's happening.
I know. It's wishful thinking as a Rays fan, but but no, seriously. As far as the Rays are concerned, laying all kidding aside, you look. The Rays are 12 games back right now of the division. I think they should just be focused on obviously getting guys back that they need to get back, and hopefully there are reinforcements on the way sooner rather than later. But you just kind of have to focus on getting into the playoffs if you're a Rays fan. I'm not saying the division is not totally out of the picture, but I don't see the Yankees blowing a double-digit. If they have a double-digit lead at the end of July, at the end of August, I truly believe that the way the Yankees have been playing, I don't see them blowing a double-digit lead in the division, or I don't see that big of a collapse. So if you're a Tampa Bay Rays fan, the hopes of winning the division, I hate to say it, but are starting to become unrealistic. Now, you were two-time division champs, two-time AL East champs. Now you have to focus on getting into the playoffs and pray you don't meet the Yankees in the playoffs, but more than likely you probably will. So, it just is. Hey, look. I hate to say I'm not being pessimistic. I'm just being realistic. You don't focus right now on winning the division. Focus on maintaining a playoff spot and getting the guys that you need to get back on the field.
Oh, if the season ended right now, you would be in the playoffs.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, you can't – it's for the Rays to be where they are right now, for them to be 7 games over 500 with so many injuries that they've had at this point in the season, they're fine.
Oh, yeah, it's not like you're under 500, but, yeah, I mean, the division's pretty much buried. This was the chance to get back in it. It would be the Yankees are not 12 games up, and sometimes you see teams, they'll be 12 games up, but they're in kind of a shitty division. All right, we got a 12-game lead, but we're only 15 games over 5. The Yankees are 47-16. They're not losing the division. This is, if you're a Yankee fan at this point, for me, the biggest fear here is they're going to break your heart in the playoffs. I don't even consider the division at this point. The Rays just aren't the team they've been. They give up too many unearned runs. I just don't see them as a challenge for the division. And for that matter, the Blue Jays either. The Blue Jays just don't have the pitching. They have a fantastic lineup, but the Yankees are just too good right now. They're not going to lose this division. They're 47-16. They got a double-digit lead. I understand we're in the middle of June, but that is going to have to be some collapse. And they're just too good right now. There's a lot of bad teams in that schedule where Yankees are going to win games. So, and you're looking at a team that's on pace to win over 110 games this year. So, not that they're going to do that, But you're getting to the point where I forget what the number. If the Yankees just play 500 ball the rest of the way, they're going to have close to 100 wins. So it's not going to take much to win the division at this point. And still, that being said, maybe I'm talking too much because you still got the Blue Jays coming up here and Houston. But man, you got to feel good. And I think that's what most Yankee fans are thinking right now. You're not seeing much of a threat from the division. You're really thinking about October and is this team going to break our hearts? That's what you're thinking about.
Absolutely. So, hey, that's the status with our baseball teams. Now let's move forward to the my Tampa Bay Lightning. Why don't we talk some Lightning hockey?
All right, big time. I think the Lightning and Rangers was still playing last time we had Super Radio Brothers, right? So this is the first. Yes,
and the Lightning just buried them the last 4 games without question.
Oh, they basically got a sweep. They came off of sweeping Florida, and then they waited 2 games, but then they decided to sweep again.
Yeah, absolutely. And they won a game at Madison Square Garden, which hardly any team has been able to do this year if you're a Ranger.
Well, that was the series right there. You knew it was over once they got the win in the Garden.
Absolutely, and Amalie Arena has been a tough place to play for the opponent for a long, long time. If you're a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, so the Lightning did end up beating the Rangers. And look, it was a fun series watching Igor Shesterkin and Andrei Vasilevsky, 2 of the best goalies in the National Hockey League. I don't think there's any argument about that. Really go at it toe for toe, and they really did. Igor Shesterkin, let me just go back to Game 7. Shesterkin was great in Game 7, Game 6 for the New York Rangers here at Amalie Arena, because that game should have been 4 or 5-0 Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, by as many shots as Tampa Bay got on goal in that particular matchup, that game should have been 4 or 5-0 early on. That should have been a blowout. I mean, it wasn't. But it should have been, and the Rangers, and thanks to Igor Shesterkin, he really kept them in and gave them a fighting chance to come back in this game.
Oh, and you come back and tie it late, and then Tampa scores right away. If there was any doubt,
not even a minute later. What's his name? Kucherov scored. And really put it up and got it 2-1 Tampa Bay. So you got to give credit to the Lightning. The Lightning have turned it up. You may not be saying that after Game 1 of the Stanley Cup final with the Colorado Avalanche. That was an opportunity on Wednesday night to steal Game 1, but unfortunately they were unable to do so. I knew that they were a step slower than Colorado right whenever the game started, because the Avalanche spent too much time in the Lightning zone. Whenever it was 3-1 at the end of the first period, I said this could be a very, very long night. Andrei Vasilevsky just wasn't his best. Wasn't the best version of Andrei Vasilevsky we've seen. He was kind of one of those. He was the version of Andrei Vasilevsky that we saw at the beginning of the Rangers series, or at some point during the Toronto series. It seems like where he had lapses in judgment, and so did the Tampa Bay Lightning had lapses in good play as well. But look. It's only Game 1. The Lightning and the Avalanche, they're 2 of the best for the reason. I think Tampa Bay still wins this series, but it's going to be more competitive than people think. This series is at least going 6 games without question.
One of the things that I noticed from the game is just the Lightning were kind of, in a lot of ways, looked like the Rangers against the Lightning. They were outshot pretty badly, if I remember just watching the game. Vasilevsky had 38 saves, and the Colorado goalie
I'm drawing a blank on the Colorado goaltender too.
Kemper. He only had 20 saves. I mean, he faced a fraction of the shots that Vasilevsky had to face. And I did watch. I watched the Yankee game, and then I jumped in late third period on the Lightning Avalanche game, and the Avalanche were just controlling the game. And at that point, it was 3-3. So I didn't see that Tampa Bay had gone down. I think it was 2-0. Then they made it 2-1. Then it was 3-1. But it was 3-3 late. And Colorado was just controlling the action. They got the power play late in the third period. And they are clearly a step up in competition from the Rangers, because that's where the Rangers struggled. The Rangers just couldn't get shots on goal. They couldn't keep the puck in Tampa Bay's zone. Tampa Bay was controlling the action. Even in the games that the Rangers won, they were being outshot. This was the first time because I've barely watched the playoffs. The only time I've watched the Lightning was when they were playing the Rangers. So I was watching some of the Avalanche Lightning game, and this is the first time I saw the Lightning not really controlling the action. It was the Avalanche that looked like they were a step faster. Now, like you said, it's game one. Game one in the Rangers series. The Rangers won that game 6-2. So it stings a little less because it wasn't an overtime loss. But at the end of the day, this series, as I always say with it seems like every NHL playoff series goes 7 games. That's probably where they're headed here. But I was very impressed by the offensive abilities of the Colorado Avalanche. I felt like I immediately saw that they were a step up in competition from the Rangers.
Yeah, they really are, and they were a thorn in the side of many NHL teams from the Western Conference this past year. So, look, Tampa Bay Lightning, Colorado Avalanche, three-peat perhaps. I'm not saying that just yet because they got a tall task. They got a tall team to get over, and that is the Colorado Avalanche, as we just spoke of. So, and then finally, let's move to the NBA. Of course, the National Basketball Association. We're watching live right now, as a matter of fact, between the Celtics and the Warriors. It looked like the Celtics were trying to get back in it. They cut it to 10 at one point. But where are we at now, Senor Carroll?
I got 6 minutes, 35 seconds left in the game. And one for the Boston Celtics. They're a big shot from Williams. 84-74 with a chance to cut it to under 10 points with 6.5 minutes to go. So this is a game that Golden State has dominated. They've controlled from start to near finish here. But when you're talking about a 9-point game with 6.5 minutes to go at home, this game is far from over. But it's also a game that, you just expected Boston, I feel, to perform better in this game, and they just haven't. They haven't really played a good game. They're trying to make a push here.
Where has Jason Tatum been this entire game? I mean, he was 5th in MVP voting for a reason, and he's expected to come up in the clutch, and he hadn't been in the clutch very often, especially this game.
And he's had nothing but horrible fourth quarters throughout the series. And, yeah, as you mentioned, only 13 points in this game so far for Jason Tatum. Nice shot there. And he just got his shot blocked by Andrew Wiggins. It's an 11-point game with 5.5 to go. Steph Curry with the ball. And this is looking like ring number 4 for Steph Curry and crew. And it's just been that type of game and that type of series here the last couple of games where the Celtics, they don't have what it takes to perform there's not enough firepower to compete with the Golden State Warriors at the end of these games. And Steph Curry leading the way for the Warriors right now, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Obviously, and it looks like they will, if Golden State goes on to win Game 6, they win the championship, Stephen Curry will be MVP, and that'll be the first NBA Finals MVP of Stephen Curry's career. And a lot of the experts are saying that's something that will cement his legacy. Not only that, it'll be his 4th ring, which ties him with LeBron in this era, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it really is. And if you're Boston, you kind of have a little bit of a bitter taste in your mouth. I mean, you realize that playoff basketball is totally different than regular season basketball, just like in any sport. The regular season is totally different, a lot slower pace than the regular season than the postseason of different sports. And while, Boston was under 500 back in February, next thing you know, toward the end of the regular season, they were one of the best teams. They were unstoppable, if you will. I mean, they seemed like they wouldn't lose any night, even if they tried. But when they got in the playoffs, and even when they got in the playoffs, they ended up finding ways to win. But I think the Golden State Warriors are too much for any team to handle, and it's something about it. I mean, the Warriors were under 500 too, and you look at it a few years back in 2020, the Warriors were one of the worst teams in the league, and now look at them. I mean, this has been a huge jump the past couple of years.
And it's not meant to be tonight. Jaylen Brown hits a 3 to cut it to 8 points. Right back down on the other end, Andrew Wiggins hits a 3 to answer right back. And what an incredible series from Andrew Wiggins. He's only 15 points tonight, but his defense, as I mentioned, he gets the block shot on Tatum going down the lane, which was a big play. And Boston, they're turning the ball over like crazy here in the fourth quarter. There's Horford for 3 in the corner. He hits it. But again, that only makes it a 10-point game now with 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Steph Curry 4 minutes away from his 4th ring. And also Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and Kerr and the whole organization ready to really cement their legacy as one of the great dynasties of all time. And they just can't guard Steph as he gets right down the lane there, lays it up and in over Marcus Smart for a 12-point lead with 3:45 to go. So it's a countdown now. You mentioned
Marcus Smart. He was the star in one of the games in this series. And you look at some of the stars that you wouldn't think would be stars. I mean, Andrew Wiggins. He led Golden State in Game 5 the other night in scoring when Steph Curry didn't have his best night. And you look at it, the stars like Steph Curry and Draymond Green and the well-known players are going to have nights like that. But when you have depth of Andrew Wiggins and stuff, and just several other guys, Kevon Looney, and of course Draymond Green hasn't made many big shots hasn't really made many shots in this series, but when they have, they've been big. You can't. That depth is invaluable.
And Marcus Smart, I think he's an awesome player. He hit a big 3 for you. He'll play great perimeter defense. But he's not necessarily a true point guard. And I think you've seen that in the fourth quarter of some of these games where the Celtics just have gone on those scoring droughts in the fourth quarter because they just don't have a true playmaker. And as good as Tatum is, he's not Luka Doncic. That's just my opinion. He's not the type of guy that's going to be able to take the ball himself and LeBron it, like Luka's that type of player. LeBron's that type of player. The Celtics don't have the type of player that you give the ball to and say, go get it. Do something fantastic, win it for us. Tatum's just not that type of player. And I think that's the way it's played out here. He's not the MVP. He's not one of the top. To me, he's not a top 5 player. Like some people are putting him up there to be. I think he's a very good player. He's an all-star. He's an awesome player, just like Brown. But they showed maybe they're a little early in the game here. I know they've been through it, big-time playoff losses last couple of years, but they're just not ready yet. They weren't ready for this Warriors team. And I think I mentioned it before the series when I said, I think sometimes we forget or we don't realize how good the Warriors are. Those guys over there those are some of the. That's one of the best teams of all time, So they went to 4 straight championships, or was it 5 straight? I'm not sure now. Around there, they were, aside from LeBron, you could say this era was about LeBron and the Warriors. That's what you would say, because when you say this era was about LeBron, you're talking about multiple teams. You're talking about the Miami Heat. You're talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, and to a lesser extent, because they won a championship in the bubble, you talk about the Lakers. But since LeBron was a part of so many teams and brought so many teams to glory, you just say this era was about LeBron, but then you also say this era was about the Golden State Warriors, and the Warriors are about to match LeBron as far as championships are concerned.
Absolutely. You can easily say, we talked about it several years ago, the Warriors are a dynasty team, good for Steve Kerr and things of that nature. And as far as the NBA is concerned, we'll be talking about the draft next week because the Orlando Magic, the draft is actually 1 week from today. And we'll be talking about that. The Orlando Magic get the first overall pick in this year's draft. What will they do with it? Will they play it safe with Paolo? Will they go for the big score in Jabari Parker? You have no idea what they're going to do. So we can next week, instead of talking actual shop on the court, we'll be talking about who our teams draft and what kind of move it was going to be. You know, we'll have our finger on the pulse, and we'll also have immediate reaction from it as well.
Yeah, so there you go. NBA draft coming up. Anything left in the world of sports that you'd like to talk about, Trent?
That's about it for tonight.
That is the world of sports. I love sports. And I, you know what? I'll say to end sports, I'm just going to say this, Trent. And I mentioned it before. I can't stand the Golden State Warriors, and I respect them. You could get that from what I was just saying about how important they are to this era of NBA basketball. I can't stand the NBA. I cannot stand the Golden State Warriors.
You can't stand the NBA.
Yeah, I love the NBA. But I can't stand the Golden State Warriors, and I can't stand the Boston Celtics. I hate both of these teams. So as much as I didn't want to see Steph Curry win his 4th championship tonight, I don't mind seeing the Boston fans have to watch that happen at the TD Garden. You know,
yeah, the trophy is in the building. It's in Beantown, man.
Yeah.
They're going to be celebrating on the court. They're going to have an award ceremony, and I guarantee you Boston's hating it because it's on their court.
Yeah. I don't mind seeing the Celtic fans have to watch this. So it couldn't have happened to a better fan. So, and yep, Curry just hit a big 3. He's doing the sleeping sign. The Celtics are done.
It's time to sit down and unwind and listen to the Couch Report.
And at the end of the day, everybody, Dallas only went 5 games against Golden State. Well, Boston did one better, 6, but it didn't go 7. You know,
yeah.
I think a lot of people expected Boston to put up more of a fight in this series, especially when you got a game 6 at home. All you got to do is win a home game to force a decisive game 7, and you can't even get that done.
I'm just saying the final when this series shifted, the trajectory shifted in this series was in the final minutes of Game 4.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, when you can't get it done in the 4th quarter, you know, and the Celtics, you let the Warriors off the hook, and they're able to tie that series 2 games apiece. You know, obviously at this point, Golden State hasn't looked back.
No, they have not. So, but congratulations to Golden State.
Yeah, that's what's happening. I think it's inevitable that Steph Curry will get his first Finals MVP. All right, Couch Report. Trent, what is going on with you, bro?
What is going on with me? Just kind of a same.
You could just say nothing and we'll end the show.
That's too easy. I'm not going to do that. It's all is well on my end. Just kind of just doing my thing, staying active. Spending a lot more time outside. It's the summertime. You know, getting that swimming in each and every day. I love the summertime, man, because I'm able to
living in the river. Bradley on the microphone with Ross MG.
The hell was that?
You don't know about Sublime? Dude, come on!
I know about it, but just the way it was presented in this particular platform.
Don't act like you're not impressed. I'm an excellent singer.
I know, yeah, in your own mind, pal. Getting out there, swimming. Spending time with the family. Probably going to go take some weekend trips to the beach coming up soon because we live only about an hour and a half away from the beach. We're going to kind of continue to go out and do that thing and just kind of stay by the water. Hoping to go fishing with my granddad. I don't know. The thing you love about me, Rich, is I like to fish.
Really?
I didn't know if you knew that. Yeah, I'm a fisher. I like to fish. I like to go out there and I just like to sit on the boat and just kind of hang out by the lake and do some fishing and have a good old time. And I'm hoping to do that at some point with my granddad. It's starting to get out of season. My grandparents went today, with it being Thursday, but there's just nothing like bringing your radio out, listening to some good music, kind of getting some R&R, relaxing in the sun. Just kind of chilling and listening to the water and catching as many fish as you can. My grandparents actually went on a fishing trip a few weeks ago where they caught 62 fish combined.
Wow!
And they brought most of them back, and we ended up having a fish fry. And boy, oh boy, you talk about some good food. It was delicious. Yeah. So that's something.
Is that your
you
favorite
learn,
part of fishing? The delicious part, or is there?
The thing I hate is cleaning them. I don't like to clean fish. I cannot stand cleaning fish.
What is it about cleaning fish that you don't like?
I just don't like feeling the scaly feelings, and it's just just the nastiness.
I would say, is it the smell? But you can't smell it.
And no, I can't. But I can tell that it smells bad just by feeling the scales, and it's I just don't like it.
Just like those human children, right?
Yeah,
Human children.
I don't know. I don't know where that came out wrong. I have no idea.
Great. He's like, no. Human children.
Human number twos is where I was going with that. I was like, man, that's
You're
bad.
so disgusted by it.
I know. It's even though we all do it, it's bad. And then something else I wanted to mention on my couch report. I have a dear friend of mine, a very, very, very special individual. Her name is Sarah. She lives up there in the Pennsylvania. A very big listener to the Super Radio Brothers. So
okay.
We thank her for that. She listens, and she retains everything very, very well. So
unlike me.
It's good. Yeah, she's a good friend of mine. We started a new thing, Rich, where we get together, even though we're 1,000+ miles away. I am able to. I should have mentioned this in the sports segment, but I wanted to save it to the couch report. We are actually watching sports together every night. Over the via the telephone. We're able to have it on our TVs, and she'll ask me questions about sports. Say, hey, how does this work? How does that work? And I'm always happy to explain it to her. And she and I are going to start getting into some shows together. Kind of watching them together, kind of give them our reactions and things like that. So just want to tell you that's something in my spare time that I enjoy. Two people can be very good friends and close to each other and watch everything together out in the beautiful thanks to technology that works out. So just thought I'd share that. She deserves a shout out, and she's got a birthday coming up on June the 28th. So
wow.
we'll have a birthday shout out for her next week too.
Well, guess who else has a birthday coming up?
I could wonder.
Just,
I wonder.
Just a little
throwing
it out there.
Is that a hint? What are you trying to say?
A big birthday coming up,
some guy, RC else. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe me.
Yeah,
it's me.
Right.
It's my birthday coming up.
It's your birthday.
Just throwing it out there.
What are you gonna do?
I mainly tell people it's my birthday so they can get me something. Just so you know.
Yeah, I don't. Have you made plans for your birthday yet? What are you gonna do?
I'm just waiting to get all the stuff people are gonna send me. For my birthday to celebrate. That's what I'll be doing. Yeah.
I don't know. I might send you a turd. Who knows? It just depends on how I feel.
Well, it's a thought that counts. That's what they say, right?
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
That's pretty much my couch report, man. Watching sports, staying outdoors. Work hard during the week and live for the weekend. That's what I do.
What do you mean, like The Artist, The Weeknd? You're a big fan?
No, not even close. I enjoy my Saturday and Sundays away from my labor of love. Put it that way.
Ooh, I'm blinded by the light. That you into that?
Yeah, you sounded just like him.
I sound just like The Weeknd. That's true.
Yeah.
And it's official. The Golden State Warriors are your 2022 NBA champions as they celebrate in Boston. Oh, that's good. At least
are they showing any Boston fans that are just crying and tearing up and everything?
No, they're just showing. I think Steph Curry's crying. They're excited. They're pretty pumped.
Good for him.
So, anyway, there you go. That's it. There. A couple things on my couch report, Trent. I have been playing the Quarry. We talked about how pumped up I was for that game here in June. That was the big AAA release. PlayStation 5, a couple of different platforms. Really more of an interactive movie than an actual video game. And also, by the way, we do have clips of me playing The Quarry on our social media, Twitch.
Are they edited?
Oh yeah. It's not 2 hours of me playing, but we got some of the best bits up there that you could go on and check out.
No, but I meant in terms of the language. Like if you're cussing somebody out, is that on there?
Oh yeah, it's on there. It's
That's
all
awesome.
the curse words, the swearing, the whole thing. We want to get all of that to you. But
That's awesome.
no, it's more. I know. It's more of a. It's more of an interactive movie than it is a video game. And man, I'll just say this: I love it. I think it's great. It's a lot of fun. Really tense moments when the decision you make could really lead to your death, because you have 9 characters that you can control, and any one of them can die at any moment. This is produced as a 1980s style horror flick. So I think it's really cool, and I love these type of games. I thought that after Until Dawn, which is a very similar concept, I thought after that game they might make more games like this, but they really haven't. So it's great to see it on PS5 because it looks amazing, and the story's pretty fun. I really dig it. And I don't know, I find myself at times, there's a lot of dialogue, and like I said, it's an interactive movie, but there are moments where you're like, whoa, I better not put down the controller. Something might happen here where I got to react and not die. So far I haven't lost anybody. I think I've played about 5 hours worth of game time, somewhere around there. And I haven't lost, well, that's hard to say. One of my guys did turn into a monster, so maybe I did lose him, but but I think I'm doing okay so far. I was terrible in Until Dawn. I had a few survivors in Until Dawn, so hopefully I can do better this time in the Quarry. I highly recommend it, but again, realize it's not really a video game in the traditional sense of the word. So if you're not looking for essentially a video game, an interactive movie, if that's not what you're looking for and you're looking for more of a video game, then don't purchase the Quarry, because it is full price, video game price. So if that's not what you're looking for, do not go for it. So I'm really enjoying that right now. I did get a chance finally to see Everything Everywhere All at Once, which has been getting incredible reviews all over the place. Been a big movie at the box office. And it really is. You probably saw our post on social media. One of the most original, enjoyable action movies in years. Movies, period. It's just great. And it's hard to really explain it, but it is a multiverse type of sci-fi thriller. And it's just done incredibly well. And at times, maybe over the top silly, but just so much fun. And all of the kung fu and martial arts are great. So Michelle Yeoh, she's incredible in it, veteran, one of the greats as well. She's in there. So, one of the best movies I've seen in years. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And I think that's about it. I did get a chance to catch up a little bit on Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. First 2 episodes were really lackluster, nowhere near what The Mandalorian is. But the third episode, extremely exciting. Spoiler alert. They're already up to, I think, episode 5. So Darth Vader makes his first appearance really since Rogue One, but I don't even count that. To me, it was his first real appearance since the old Star Wars movies. So that was really cool to see. But then they follow up with the next episode, and the 4th episode was kind of lackluster again, and you don't see any Darth Vader. So anyway, I'd have to be honest, so far, 4 episodes. I know they've made 5 episodes. I've seen 4 of them. Obi-Wan Kenobi, kind of disappointing. Definitely not what I was hoping for. I thought it would be exciting, a little better. So far, it's been okay. And Miss Marvel came out, Disney Plus as well. Kamala Khan, character very different from the comic book character. I think I'm right when I say she's an Inhuman in the comic book. Not the case in this show, or maybe it is and they haven't revealed that yet. But the first episode was way more entertaining than I expected it to be. I didn't enjoy the second as much, so we'll see where it goes from there. But anyway, I'd only have to be positive about it through the first 2 episodes because I think it's exceeded my expectations because I really didn't think I was going to enjoy it at all, but it was really good. So that's what I've been checking out. No astronomy because the skies have sucked. So, and that's what's going on in the world of Rich Carroll. Any final words here in, what is this, episode 411?
306.
306. Oh, thank you, Trent's on.
If I'm not mistaken, just another great episode. Look forward to doing it again next week. And yeah, we'll have a lot more content coming your way, so keep your eye out.
Oh, yeah, we won't be, and we'll have a better show because we won't be paying attention to so much sports. I know. We were watching the Yankees and the Rays tonight, the NBA Finals. Next time, I promise you'll get our full attention, right, Trent?
That is correct, sir.
All right, episode 306 is in the books. In the words of Bob Dylan, time is an ocean, but it ends at the shore. The Super Radio Brothers have reached the shore. See ya!
See ya!